And now, here's Johnny!
My memories of Johnny always revolve around my dad wearing his green checked robe. He would always say, I have to go to bed, I have to go to bed. We'll watch his monologue and then we're going to bed. We watch the monologue and he'd say, we'll just see the first guy. He might do Karnak tonight, he might do Karnak. Let's see if he does Karnak, or let's see if he does Floyd Turbo. And then we'd watch that and go like, okay, first guest, we'll just see the first guest. And my dad was always up till the end of the show. My first experience of Johnny Carson was he made my dad laugh. That was at an age when you really want to make your father laugh, and here's this guy who routinely makes my father laugh. On TV, what I always saw with Johnny Carson was someone who tried to make the guest look good and tried to the best of his ability, help people.
Well, that last number is very catchy. Really? No, it is. It's not a dumb...
There's an old saying that what's in you comes out on television.
You know, I said it before when you were first on the show, and I mean it. I said, you're going to be something to contend with. You're going to be a big star in this business because you are unique and you're different.
And that was Johnny Carson. He listened and he was curious, and that made him a good interviewer.
His education enabled him to speak with all those people and be comfortable. He was comfortable talking to those people because I think he had a respect for his own intelligence. So he had no insecurity about talking to whoever. It didn't matter. I benefited so much from Johnny Carson existing because I unconsciously, for lack of a better word, I unconsciously, subconsciously, consciously steal from him left and right all the time. People talk a lot about Johnny Carson, and he's become such a icon, and he's so revered that sometimes everyone's talking about how amazing he was, but they're not telling you why. And if you really look at the nuts and bolts of it, he was the complete package. He's physically he's a great physical comedian with a lot of grace. Great at playing comedic moments the way any great improviser, Will Ferrell or Steve Carell would. He could play those moments perfectly with with the Jack Benny takes. Great at coming up with one-liners off the cuff, a great ad-libber. But he was also an intellect.
I was born in the Midwest. I was born in Iowa, raised in Nebraska, and... Are you from Nebraska? Where from?
Valentine.
I know Valentine, Nebraska.
Yeah, small.
What?
It's
Small.
It is. Well, most towns in Nebraska are small. How small is it?
He never forgot his good friends from his youth ever, or his Nebraska ties.
I know that he was one of the most generous men I ever met, but all in kind of secret.
We never heard about it till we read it in the paper. Picked up the paper and said, Johnny Carson. He never told us. He just did it.
And that exemplifies Johnny Carson, the man. He didn't show off. He was a showman, but he didn't show off. He just got the job done, and here it is. And the same way about his generosity. He didn't want a lot of people to know about that.
It worked that way because he wanted it to. And that's the same thing, I think, with his relationship with the university, is in that he never forgot where he got his beginnings.
I mean, that's part of his heritage. I'm sure that's something that he wanted to see carried on. Nebraska, the arts, the culture, the whole thing.
I think it's wonderful. And it'll do a lot of good, and all of you are going to benefit by it. All of us are going to benefit by it.
Well, let me try to explain it. If I could magically, somehow, that tape you just saw, make it run backwards, I'd like to do the whole thing all over again. I bid you a very heartfelt good night.